Welcome back to Film-Inflicted Trauma.
You know, science fiction is a difficult genre for any filmmaker to tackle.
It needs to stretch the imagination and present a world of the future, a speculative universe containing wonders or horrors that the mundane world has never seen. It requires imagination, and above all, vision.
Or, for the truly avant-garde filmmaker, there is the more daring option of making the film so ridiculously convoluted and bizarre as to be incomprehensible. Properly executed, this approach will leave the viewer too confused to realize how stupid it is.
If that last one seems absurd to you, then you probably didn't direct today's movie. Dear viewers, for your consideration, we present Actium Maximus, War of the Alien Dinosaurs.
Oh my god, that's what it's called? This is gonna be awesome!
Our story, at least I think there's a story involved here somewhere, opens on the wretched colony world of Actium.
It's only a model.
We're introduced to our main character, a pasty white spit-curled gentleman wearing 14 cows worth of black leather. This is Omnitor Justinian Axazun.
It should be noted that this is also our director, writer, cinematographer, composer, and casting director, Mark Hicks.
Oh, hi, Mark.
This doesn't bode well, does it?
Axazun doesn't seem too happy, since the weird dinosaur puppets apparently haven't been properly tended in his absence.
Axazun flounces off in a huff to do, something or other. It isn't clear, but I'll pretty much guarantee it isn't important.
In the post-apocalyptic town of Bedrock, the colony is in the midst of the Actium Maximus Carnival, a festival featuring combat between puppet creatures for the amusement of the crowds.
The narrator keeps referring to calaminators, titanodons, and laphrodites as though we're meant to somehow know what he's talking about. What we do get is that there's apparently some unrest in the colony. The laphrodites are these weird tentacled hentai aliens, I think.
You pretty much have to assume. Apparently, they're agitating against the current leadership of the colony, some going so far as to immolate themselves in protest. It's easy to understand why they're so upset when you meet Grand Automaton Polpox, ruler of...
Behold the Grand Automaton Maximus Maytag, Emperor of Cardboardia and ruler of the papier-mâché Daleks.
Alright. Polpox, it soon becomes apparent, is a racist dictator and thus kind of a dick. He issues orders for the Laphrodites to be rounded up and final solutioned.
He's also addicted to oculopus heads, a local delicacy made of the decapitated heads of some kind of alien critter. He irritably calls for more, even as his advisors try to find a diplomatic way of telling him that he's being a dick and undermining his own authority.
More oculopus heads! My spin cycle begins and I hunger!
The Tower 10 of the Treasury has been urgently requesting another 2 million in hard deceramic pearls for more drive units will assist in...
We haven't been able to figure out the name of the Grand Automaton's other advisor here, so we've decided to name him Trevor. Does anyone else think he seems a little, well, you know?
Oh, yeah, definitely a bottom.
Not that I really want to know, but why do you say that?
Because otherwise he'd be a stalactite.
Trevor, it seems, is concerned about the colony's economic state, since the whole shebang is apparently ready to collapse thanks to Polpox's irresponsible rule. Emperor Maximus dismisses the problem and orders the immediate revocation of someone. I can't tell who, but I've already seen enough of this movie to know that I really don't care.
Based on the context, it would seem to combine the worst aspects of revoke and execute. It doesn't sound good, whatever it is.
See, this right here is exactly my problem with this movie. It just makes up words and concepts on the fly and then tosses them around like we ought to know what they mean.
For reals, like what's a calaminator? How about a Desiron? How about a Cyclone Tantanir? How about explain yourself, movie? No, on second thought, don't. The last thing this needs is more exposition.
Our doughy space hero is commanded to go capture a new creature for the arena. He'll need to journey to the planet Cyclone Tantanir
So that's what that is.
to find the beast. Then, wait, did the movie just do a page wipe? Seriously? Axazun is accompanied by this chicken Vinyl, but I haven't caught her name, so we'll just call her Duality.
Why?
Because she's almost Trinity from the Matrix, but not quite.
A string of assassination attempts have been made against Emperor Maximus, who responds by ordering revocations like they are going out of style.
You will be revocated, revocute, revocute.
You are just determined to make that Dalek joke work, aren't you?
Affirmative.
This leaves Maximus in a terrible snit, ranting and raving to Trevor and his other advisors. The Grand Automaton wants his soldiers to deliver a Laphrodite known as the High Briton.
He's up against the Britons? That's rough. Oh, here they are, apocalypse of the stiffest in all galaxy. Frightfully dangerous chaps, what?
The action is really heating up on Cyclone Tantanir, where Axazun, Duality, and a non-specific creature in a white robe are joined by another character that looks like some kind of giant alien fungus.
Well, of course. He's from the planet Yugoth. I hear they're all fun guys there.
Oh hey, they found where Hicks lost the plot.
Looks like the ruins of an ancient alien city.
It does?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Fun Guy, who Duality refers to as the Brarian, explains that the object is the remains of an evil god that was killed here 3,000 days of the Neton ago.
What the hell's a day of the Neton? Did it happen 13,000 years ago? 8 months? 14 seconds? Damn it, movie, give me some context!
After a moment of debate, Bowel Movement Alien chimes in with, wait, when did it get here? The last time we saw it was in the dinosaur pens back on Actium. Has he somehow been here the whole time? He wasn't in the wide shot.
Anyway, he's here now, and he notes that
antiprotons? As in the theoretical antimatter counterpart to protons? So why isn't absolutely everything for miles around being annihilated? Matter plus antimatter equals kaboom.
Pro tip, movie, if you're going to drop random science fiction terminology, you should probably at least know what it means. And while I'm at it, I'll just go ahead and add sensors to my list of made-up bullshit terms that this movie should have an answer for.
Is some court of Sparrow, me, King Bull Sparrow!
They gain entry to the ship city god thing and start dicking around with its computers, which it apparently has, and which are apparently really blue for some reason.
Emperor Maytag's still on the warpath, and we're told that his Terrortron brigades are hunting for Britain because the Resistance are ambushing his troops with plague pellets. Come on, Mark. That can't even have sounded good in your head.
Duality has decoded something from the blue pewters. At least I think she decoded it. Give a listen.
And the Rididod of Ty will bury the Tinidod with the key of Trinion in Barilus on the 42nd Paradis for their spring of lifefulness.
But what the Duracasax does Zarathakar of Vasca Convalor then?
What?
I said, what the fuck does any of that mean?
Well, Axazun somehow jumps to the conclusion that the aliens who built the city god ship whatever were looking for a legendary place that sounds a bit like the Fountain of Youth. He doesn't sound all that impressed, though.
I want to have a look at the other part of the hull.
Seriously, I know he's the main character, but if this guy gets any less interesting, I might actually forget him entirely.
Well, to be fair, the movie does, at least for 10 minutes or so. We find that Emperor Maytag is still issuing speeches and proclaiming his own divinity.
He does that. It's kind of his thing. Also, he's seemingly more Hitler-y by the second. That never ends well.
He transmits throughout the colony and makes a speech that denounces the Archbriton Sustenus, wow, these names, and promises that
Paradise will prevail on this colony as long as I am Grand Automaton.
Oh, right. This smoggy, dimly lit colony that looks like a 6th grader's diorama and is ruled by a totalitarian god king with mandatory worship periods and constant revocations.
Truly, my people, paradise!
I like how Boxmus's speech is apparently sponsored by the Aculipus head supplier.
when the film finally remembers Axazun and his posse, it hits us with another stupid tiled image transition and another pointless title card. Then we find that they're still wandering around inside the matte painting of the alien ship.
Has anyone noticed that the interior of the engine room is a modern naval vessel, but with fake plants hung up all over everything?
Well, at least they didn't waste any time lighting this part of the movie.
True that.
What's up?
Well, it's been several minutes now, so I figure it's about time for the movie to give us narrative whiplash. I'm guessing right about now.
Apparently Emperor Maytag's government is expecting trouble at the Carnivale, in the form of 15 or so
self-revocating bombers.
You know, I don't understand it. They linger on this set as though it was somehow impressive and didn't look like absolute shit.
Tonight, King Megalodon goes head-to-head against the evil Brutalitron in a no-holds-barred battle to the finish for the favor of the lovely Lady Fangosaur. Tonight on Raw.
You know, I'm normally a big proponent of imaginative alien designs, but there is such a thing as going too far. Which end of that thing are we even looking at?
Actually, what I can't get over is the idea that an entire planetary population is apparently enthralled by this. I mean, it can't even hold my attention for 3 fucking minutes at a time.
You know, speaking of weird aliens, I've been trying to figure out, do the Laphrodites even have a face?
Back on Cyclone Tantanir. I'm so sick of saying that. Axazoon and the Goof Troop have apparently gotten bored with alien godship cities that might hold ancient secrets, so they've gone off to trap themselves a mess of dinosaurs.
Well, to be fair, that is what Emperor Boximus sent them for. The ship thing was just a giant waste of time. Theirs and ours.
Isn't that the alien fungus stick from earlier? The Brarian?
No. See, it's been incompetently green screened in a different scale, so it's a monster now.
But that's clearly the same prop.
Nope, monster.
It looks ridiculous.
Monster.
Our pasty white interstellar badass and his friends soon find that they become mired in a saliva patch and can't even run.
Nice job, Axazoon. You're about to be eaten by a giant cock mushroom because you stepped in a puddle of monster spit. Truly, your legend will resound throughout the ages.
The monster is just kind of waving around and making noises. It doesn't seem to try to eat anything but a white rock nearby. That only makes it sneeze.
Aw, poor thing's allergic to rocks. Need a hanky?
The Grand Automaton indicates that he wishes to retire to his chambers.
Aw, poor Boximus. Little soldier's all tuckered out.
Genocide's hungry work, you know.
Wait, was that an Aculipus? What was it doing in there? How is it not dead? Is it dangerous? How does a robot eat?
Silence! We have to be getting to the good part now. I mean, we're over an hour into this thing. Maybe we'll get some kind of explanation for all this nonsense in the climax.
Okay, so the Aculipus emerges and that the movie's over? To be continued?
To be continued? Fuck you, movie. Just fuck you.
But will Axazoon escape the giant cock mushroom?
And will duality ever succeed in being relevant or interesting?
Who the fuck are you, lady? Why the fuck did you hug my hand?
Will Boximus escape from the tiny creature a tenth his size that couldn't possibly harm him?
Will Butch Stalagmite ever make an honest man out of Trevor?
And most importantly, will King Manglodon win the love of Lady Fangosaur?
Well, I doubt we're gonna find out. This thing was filmed in 2005, and we haven't seen a sequel yet. I can only hope that Mark Hicks has by now realized that science fiction is not the genre for his, shall we say, unique filmmaking talents.
Oh man, now that was something special. Actium Maximus is, if nothing else, quite the spectacle. I mean, sure it makes about as much sense as pips on a one-sided die, but it does manage some spectacular feats of filmmaking. When it comes down to it, I'm impressed with this movie. I'm impressed by how much the guy was able to accomplish special effects-wise, while still being unable to figure out the threshold ratio for his chroma key. I can fully see and appreciate the love and care that went into every set and prop. I can also appreciate that it pretty much failed spectacularly at every conceivable effort that it undertook, and I can sympathize with that. I wouldn't recommend Actium Maximus to my friends, but I would sure as shit subject them to it given half an opportunity.
You know, to its credit, this movie is really trying. It's trying to give us a vision of a dark and alien future. It's trying to be sweeping and epic. It's trying to wow me. It's trying so hard to be Dune. It isn't succeeding, but it does have the balls to try.
The real problem isn't the effects, though they do suck harder than I'd ever thought it possible for effects to suck. Nor is it the acting, which is arguably even worse. Instead, it's the desperately flawed storytelling. None of the characters in this film are memorable or likable, and none of them actually do anything. The story is a mess, seeming as though the crew just threw random science fiction concepts at the wall to see what stuck. Then they tried to distract us from what a pile of shit it was with ugly puppets and papier-mâché bullshit. The hell of it is, I really think there's a story here that could be salvaged. I found myself feeling perversely cheated with the abrupt cliffhanger. I mean, the movie's a train wreck, but, well, the story just doesn't have any resolution at all. It doesn't so much end as it just fails. It sort of sputters out like a damaged engine.
You know, that might be the best analogy, really. This movie isn't bad. It's actually broken. So very broken.
But what a movie it is. Don't forget to rate and subscribe and thumbs up for bad green screen. Wait a minute, Jacqueline?
Jacqueline? What are your final thoughts? What did you think of the film?
That was a movie?
gentlemen,